Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IAM Love Builders Show. We are your hosts, Casper and Cheryl Stockham, and we are so excited to have you with us today. We want to give a great big shout out to all of our broadcast partners. Thank you. We so appreciate you. IAM Love Builders is a show that's dedicated to all things that deals with relationships, marriage, and communication. It doesn't matter whether you're single or married, we believe we have some content on the show that will help you have a strong and healthy relationship. Our goal is to help you to become an MVP. That's the most valuable partner, the most valuable partner in your relationship or marriage. Here at IAM Love Builders, we want your relationship to be strong and healthy, and most importantly, we want you to have fun. Because we firmly believe that if you are not having fun, you are not doing it right.
No doubt about it. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. So a couple months ago, actually, it's been about, well, it was in June. We went to Texas and we accepted the award, the Zanti Award.
Yes, we did.
So we won the Zanti Award for our TV show. It was season 1 of Winning with Love. And there were several shows that were in the running for that. I think at least 10 or 15 other shows. And we were blessed to win the award. So we got that. Yeah, so now we're award-winning TV show. Wow, that was kind of cool. And so that was exciting to do that. And now we're going back to Texas here next week to film season 2 of Winning with Love.
Yes, we are.
Now this season 1 was really, we had a lot of married couples on. We did a love talk.
And we had a game that we did, couples game that we did. But this year, we're doing a little bit of a combination. We're still going to have our married couples on, but we're also going to have some conversation with our singles.
Yes.
And we're going to give them opportunity to share their perspective.
Yeah. And this season also is going to give us the opportunity, as you and I, to really share a lot of our material. Because we've written 2 more books since we were on 3 more books.
Yes,
since we were on the show last season. So we're going to be talking about those on TV. And then just a lot of material that we have and have had over the years that we never really got to talk about because we had other parts of the show going on. So we'll get to do all of that here coming up next week.
That's right.
Yep, it's coming up fast. We also have a lot of media services that we provide with Zandra TV. We have TV advertising, movie production, podcast promotion and production, micro networks. We got a lot of stuff going on that we can help you with getting your product or service really more exposure, more access to TV at a very reasonable price. So it's really something to look into with our services. So these are books I was talking about earlier. So we wrote Divorce Proofing Your Marriage literally about 3 or 4 years ago now. Man, time has just flown by. But then I wrote Mastering Adam, is the biblical Adam. And the subtitle is Becoming the Best Adam for Your Eve. And then you wrote Mastering Eve, subtitle Becoming the Best Eve for Your Adam. And then those 2 books snuck away and came back
with another little book called Mastering Adam and Eve, which is kind of more of a devotional type book. It has a lot for you to do, a lot of self-reflecting.
Yes, a lot of self-reflecting and stuff. It's a good journal. It's a good book for journaling, a good book for reflecting, and definitely get more connected spiritually with yourself.
Yes.
Right. And I almost feel like now that I'm looking at the series, I'm almost thinking we kind of did them in reverse. Because when we wrote Divorce Proofing Your Marriage, we really were trying to bring couples together in one book, but we weren't working on them separately. Right. So I started working on the guys and you started working on the ladies. And then once we get those 2 working on themselves, then we bring them together. So then they can read Divorce Proofing Your Marriage and really get a lot more out of it, I think.
Yes, possibly. But I think all things, divine timing.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So we're going to talk about those. And we have a Facebook group called the Most Valuable Partner Network. It's a free group. And we post a lot of our training and information in that group to help folks. There's several hundred people there right now. And it's a good group to start with as far as getting some information about what we do and how we do it and so forth. A lot of fun things we talk about in that group as well. And we have an app. Now, there's a metamorphosis going on with our app situation. So we have a current app right now, and it's a great app. It's free, so you definitely want to download that immediately to take advantage of all the free training and information we have in that app. But we are currently working on a updated version of this app that is just day and night, really. It's going to be day and night compared to this one. But the good news is if you're in this app, you're going to be grandfathered in and get some really great deals going into the new app.
Yes. So if you're already on our original app, you will be migrated over to the new updated app.
Yeah. It's going to be just, I'm really excited about it. But I have to work on it after we get back. Right now we're getting prepared to go to Texas. And our key sponsors for our program is called Texas All Stars. Now they're into crypto mining. And when I first heard about crypto mining 5 months ago, I had no idea what it was, how it worked, or anything. In fact, I knew about crypto, but the only thing I knew about crypto is it was a good place to lose money. Because I was successfully able to lose thousands of dollars in crypto. And I was like, no. But then they started explaining what it was and crypto mining and how it worked. And I was like, wow, this is pretty intriguing. And they have perfected that process. And it's become a huge blessing for us. So we have a digital miner. I have a digital miner. You have a digital miner. My sisters have a digital miner. My daughter has a digital. My friends, everybody's got a digital miner because it's just a really, everything has a degree of risk to it, but this is a really safe way to get involved in the crypto space without potentially losing everything. So it's just a really great thing to look into. All right. So we have a great guest we're going to be bringing on here after the first segment. But is there anything you want to talk about before we go to break?
No.
We got 45 seconds.
Are you surprised?
Yes, I'm extremely surprised. Yeah, nothing to talk about. You gotta have something.
Well, if you keep talking, I'll come up with something. But
if I keep talking,
we'll be out of time. Okay, then I guess I don't have anything.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and take a break early, a couple seconds early. Hey, you are watching I Am Love Builders with Casper and Cheryl. When we come back, we're going to bring on our special guest all the way from California. We'll be right back in just a moment.
How many of us wished we bought Bitcoin early? We hear it all the time after the latest huge price surge. I wish I'd gotten in sooner. I wish I'd stocked up before the price took off.
Crypto markets are in the green this morning as Bitcoin hits yet another record high today.
The truth is, the real path to crypto wealth isn't chasing big price jumps. It's getting coins early and frequently. How? Mining. Mining gives you coins. Early Bitcoin adopters built their wealth by mining, and big banks and investors keep doing it, expanding their wealth and squeezing you and me out. Also, traditional mining comes with massive upfront hardware costs and sky-high electricity bills. But there's a better way. Meet Texit Coin, a new decentralized coin mined in Texas.
All right, we are back with the I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl, and we are so blessed to have a special guest with us now. For the past couple of years, we've really just been interviewing couples, or we would just do a show where we're giving coaching advice and information and going over stuff in our book. But we're kind of branching out a little bit, and we wanted to give more content for those in the single space. Now, she's kind of half in, half out. She can explain her situation with us here. But I want to bring on our special guest all the way from California.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi there. Half in, half out. That's about right.
So we'll let her explain all that to you. But welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. There's some wonderful things. I'm going to have to go. We're going to have more conversations here. There's some fun stuff you guys are doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Carolyn, tell us all about yourself. Tell
Well,
us your story.
you want to hear my story. So first and foremost, I am a body mind coach muscle therapist here in the Bay Area, branching out here in the Central Valley as well. I'm the first generation of immigrant parents. My parents are the first generation out here from the Philippines. And so grew up with a lot of that culture and whatnot, respectful, being the oldest daughter, the oldest one. So I'm here to take care of everything, right? There were a lot of things I learned and I loved, but there were also some things I needed to change because what was expected of me also cost a part of my own self and my own happiness. So it's interesting that the conversation you were having here is learning about yourself and loving yourself so that you can be in partnership. This was the whole journey for me. At 58, I'm 58, and 3 adult children. It has taken a long time to get here from that place, right? My parents modeled it for me, which was great, but communication wasn't a big deal, right? You just did what they said, and you had their own. So it's just it has been a huge learning for me to understand that, and I've had some key individuals and adults in my life through high school, through college, and now out on my own, doing my own thing. I have chosen, and actually, people have come to me to guide me and support me in the process. So I've been very fortunate that way.
Amen. I've never been to the Philippines, but our church has a very strong relationship with a couple of churches in the Philippines.
I'm not surprised.
And they go like twice a year.
Once or twice a
year to the Philippines. And they're always saying, you need to come, you and Casper need to come so you can teach some relationship and marriage. And, they share a little bit of the culture, and they said a lot of that is not really present.
Correct.
And so every time they go, they say, we want you guys to go with us. And every year we say, well, okay, God.
Great. Because it's very, the Spaniards invaded the Philippines, and it was just very Latino based. It's not bad, but it's just the masculine tends to be the run of the household when really actually feminine. It's both of them, but it's just, I bucked the system as an American born. I just bucked. It was really hard for my parents because I was always in their face, gently, but in their face. And it was a lot for them, but we just break through it. I have to say, after my dad had surgery 2 weekends ago, he was all drugged up with his medicines, but it was an incredible experience for me to sit with my dad bedside and him describing to his nurse, this is my daughter, didn't know she was going to make, I was born 6 months early. And then they didn't have all the technology. They just hoped and prayed that I would make it. And I did.
Amen.
But my dad didn't mean it when he said it. He goes, we weren't sure she was going to have it all there because I was young. Right. I was born young. I'm like, great, Dad. What are you telling the nurse? She's successful. She's got children, all the other things. And it was so beautiful to hear my dad talk to me like that. He would not normally. That's just not his thing.
Yeah.
And I brought him home that night with my mom. He was just going, we are just so proud of you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I could not receive. It was a hard thing to hear.
Wow.
So I just heard him, you've had some hard choices, but we're proud of what you've become. Your children are great. They're independent, all the things. And it's just, I went home and I couldn't sleep. Everything just didn't sit well. Cause it's like, who is that? Was that Dad? Did he really say those things? And he meant it, even though he was a little drugged up. It was such a wonderful thing to hear. And then when I shared it with my partner, he goes, most of us wait a lifetime to hear that from our parents.
Right.
I was very blessed to hear that. And when he said that, and I could actually let it down, I could actually feel what my dad was saying, not just in my head, but it was a feeling sense. And it was a different way that I could actually view my dad.
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
What brought your parents to the States?
Opportunity. So
Okay.
as I don't know if you've heard of Joe Coy, he's a comedian. He's also Filipino, half American comedian. He's pretty big out there, but everything is accurate. So my dad came through the Navy.
Okay.
Mhm.
And my mom came through as a nurse. So she was a nurse, came here on that program back in
Okay.
1996, I think it was. And so they met here.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's awesome.
It
Well, the
is.
next time we're going to have to take a trip to the Philippines.
Absolutely. I didn't go to the beaches. I was too young when I went, but apparently all the beaches are beautiful. I'm hoping my brother and I and our families will get a chance to go. That's my dad's dream, is to take us. We'll see. We'll just see where that takes us.
Now, when they came here, were they already speaking English, or did they have to learn it already? Or they
English
already-
is actually spoken in the Philippines. They just refined it while they were here. So it was interesting talking to my mom. She goes, when you were born and I was having to read and stuff, we used Sesame Street and books just so that we could actually perfect our English. My parents were very trying to really immerse themselves in the American culture. So they really learned all the different holidays. They did it to perfection. My parents did a great job with all that.
Yeah. You know, I think that's become lost in our society today, is when you go to a country and you go there to basically make that your home,
Yes.
you need to assimilate,
Yes.
right? I mean, if we were going to the Philippines and stuff, we have to get into the culture, right?
Yes.
Get into the language and whatever.
Yes. And they did. Yeah, my
yeah.
parents really did a good job of that being here. But we also learned my parents' dialect. So I don't speak it. I can understand every word they say, and I can respond it back in English. And my girls are like, "What did Grandma just say?" She goes, "She's talking about us." And I'm like, "She is."
Well, Kelly, the one thing I appreciate, people coming from different cultures, but it always saddens me that they become so immersed in the Western culture that they lose their own. I don't, like a lot of my coworkers, and I'm like, but don't lose your culture.
Right.
I understand, but don't lose your culture, because your culture is rich. So don't
Very
lose it.
That's right.
Don't lose the language. Share it with your children. I understand becoming immersed, but don't lose things.
They didn't. My parents did not. So they trained us in all the little different pieces, but it was more of just understand what's going on. Keep your eyes open. They were very aware. My dad especially was extremely aware of what was going on. And we just shared our culture with others, but just didn't push it upon others.
Sure. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. You are watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio, Carolyn Ulitsky. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Well, which is my camera?
Right there, all the way down.
Oh, okay, I can talk to him. After all, he's my camera. I can talk to him. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. We are here with our wonderful guests.
God has been very graceful. Going back to what you stated, it's that work back.
Yeah, so we weren't arguing with one another, but maybe we needed to be.
Right.
Maybe we needed to be getting uncomfortable.
I'd only been saved 11 months. He's been saved since he was 19. But at the end of the day, I believe in marriage, and I think that it's really important.
You have been watching Winning with Love with Casper and Cheryl Stockham. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio with us, Carolyn Yanit. And we were just talking about you growing up with your parents who moved here from the Philippines, and they really embraced the American culture, but they also managed to hold on to some of the culture from
the Philippines.
As well.
So, Carolyn, share with us a little bit about once you became a teenager, you grew up, did you go off to college? Did you know who you wanted to be when you grew up? Sometimes we do. It doesn't necessarily turn out that way, but we think we do.
Okay, Okay, as a teenager, it was, I think it was rough for my parents. So they didn't understand all the little nuances back from elementary school, middle school, and into high school. Halloween, all those little pieces. So they were learning as we were learning. My brother and I were both learning all these pieces, and they supported it and did all of that. And as a teenager, and I think it was not spoken, but once again, it was like you had to have all your chores done. You had to do really well in school. My parents didn't push hard, but I knew I couldn't push the boundaries too far. It was just stayed within what was expected. And yes, we were supposed to go off to college, which we did, but I stayed at home. So I just commuted from home to the local university at San Jose State.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I had wanted to be a doctor. And when I found that it took too long as far as school, the answer was, I'm not doing that. That my mom's a nurse, right? That was the expectation. My dad's a respiratory therapist after he left the Navy. That's what he did.
Okay.
And so both my parents were in Western medicine. Both my brother and I were expected to go to Western medicine. We both decided not to. We went the direct opposite and went into business. Business school. I was in corporate. My brother was in corporate. And I think in my early 30s, I shifted streams because corporate was changing. It wasn't giving me time with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, I really loved getting massage, but not so much. Yes, I like the relaxation, but I loved what the vibe they put off, right? Just calm and relaxed and whatnot. And so when I left corporate to go pursue massage school, my mother was like, "What are you doing? What was that? Don't you want to be a nurse?" And it's like, no, that's not what I want to do. I pursued it anyways, and it has been the best thing I ever did. My parents did not know what I did for a long time, because what I did is I took the regular basic massage, but then the school that I went to here at De Anza College in Cupertino, Dr. Foreman offered so many opportunities to take a look at it from different perspectives through chiropractors, physical therapists, acupuncturists, whatnot. So it allowed me to open it up in different ways. So it wasn't, I'm taught in the basic massage relaxation, but then I pursued other avenues to help people in their pain. And so in my way, I get a lot of gratification just helping people come out of pain, understanding their pain. And so I think it was about 15 years ago, my parents had no idea what I was doing. I started my business. My brother goes, "You got to go see mom." And I'm like, "Why?" She had surgery and she's still swollen. So go see her. So I did. She goes, "Do you think you could help me?" And I'm like, "Of course I can." But she had no idea. So I was doing lymphatic massage on her, and the swelling around her neck and face dropped. And she goes, "That's what you do?" And I'm like, "Well, that's one of the things I do." And so she goes, "Can you come back tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Of course I can." Building respect about what I was doing. And then my dad had surgery with his knee. Same kind of thing. I would go every day. And so they just didn't know how I helped people.
Very good. That's awesome. I'm trying to figure out how I can get an appointment with you right now. I mean, we might have to meet somewhere in between California and Colorado.
You're not that far away. I can come up and see you. That would be cool.
Okay. Well, that is so awesome. So now you talked about there's a lot of different parts to massage.
Yes.
Are you a massage therapist, or is it a step beyond that?
A step beyond that. So I'm more of a muscle therapist, and that term was coined by another mentor of mine. And it's because we go deeper. And I don't mean just muscle deeper. This is about what's going on in your body. Our body leaves trauma in all kinds of ways in our body. And that's what brings out the pain. And our body can only tolerate for so long, and at which point we need to listen. We either listen to the whispers of the pain, or we wait till it's kind of taken us out a little bit and they're going, "Okay, I need out of this kind of pain."
Right.
And so it's more about tuning in to your body and understanding what it's saying. I had one client, here's my best example. I had one client come in, couldn't understand why he had all this pain in his jaw. And for 2 years, he went to see every Western medicine possible, every test, couldn't find the problem. And so someone recommended he come see me, a biofeedback person, and some other person. So when he came to see me, he goes, "I don't understand. I haven't been able to sleep. I'm getting more anxious. They've had to take me off a plane because I can't fly anymore because I can't understand what's going on."
Wow.
So we spent a good hour and a half talking through some of those things, and I got him on the table. And then I was just dropping questions because intuitively I can feel what's going on and what's happening. So I asked, how's work? How's your kids? How's family? He goes, "Everything's fine." So everything's fine, but your body's tight from head to toe.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, something else is happening. And it finally dropped in. And I said, did something change at work? He goes, oh, yeah, yeah. And I said, did you just get bought out? He goes, yes. I said, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the horses here, because that usually means two things. Either you'll lose your job or you're going to have more work, right? Because they're trying to combine things now. And he goes, oh, no, my job's secure. I said, isn't that creating stress in your body? And he goes, no, not really. And I said, are you sure? So the more I dug, it was the drive from our town all the way to the other side of the Bay Area. And then all of that tension. So it was the first time when I worked on his jaw. So I'm known for working on people's jaws, putting gloves on, going inside and releasing the muscles. Because I can work your shoulders until I'm blue in your neck, but it's locked in by your jaw. And so when I did that for the first, he grabbed my hands and he goes, okay, I know this is going to hurt. Just wait 1 second. So he had to take a couple deep breaths. I was able to release the jaw muscles, then work his neck and shoulders. That was the first night he was able to sleep.
Wow.
Because he was able to get to the root of his pain. Because it was all the things he was thinking about in respect to the job, the commute, and what he wanted in life.
Wow. Very good.
That was so cool. I was super excited. And we worked for a long year because the next piece dropped in. He goes, I can't live here anymore. I want to be somewhere else. And I said, you've got the ace. They need you. You asked, this is before COVID. So it's like, ask for what you want. You'd be really, really surprised that they gave it to you. So if not, you have a couple other offers on the side. So you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it was at Christmas time that time. And he asked for what he wanted and they gave it to him. So he was able to live remotely and come in and commute in every couple of weeks. So, yeah.
Less stress for sure.
That was stress, but he had to get to the root of that stress. That's holding all that pain.
All right, hold that thought. You're watching I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special stress reliever in studio with us, MVP. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio with us, and we were talking about relieving all types of stress on folks' face and jaws and shoulders.
And so, Carolyn, that led me when we talk about stress, because we are a relationship, communication, marriage show. Tell me about the stress that people are experiencing just in relationships.
I can use myself as that example.
Okay.
There are a lot of clients that do come in who are in, relationship. It's about communicating. It really, truly is a big deal. As you've talked about it here, about the communicating. And again, I think growing up the way I grew up, two-way communicating like that wasn't modeled for me. So it was just a one-way directive. So I didn't have a way to understand that. Again, I had other mentors and people that came into my life that showed me what that looked like. So I had a chance to see firsthand what that looked like. But my first two marriages, yes, I've been married twice. I was young the first time, and I wouldn't have my three beautiful daughters if I hadn't been. But it was some things I needed to learn there. And I think my first husband was hoping that he's 15 years older than me, that I would just follow in the fast, just follow, not just push up against it, right? Just do what he said. It was like, yeah, that's not how that worked. Right? It was like, I was 21 and it was like, oh no. And then I was going off I was still doing college and working full time and raising our first daughter. And so things were stirring in me to be a leader, to do all the different things. And so I grew. The difference was he wasn't growing and I was, and there was no need, there was no communicating. So it was really hard there.
Right.
It was difficult after having the twins. I had three with him. My second marriage, he was just a couple years younger than me. more educated, meaning he had a PhD and whatnot and had a great job. But that too, there was no level of communication. I can see it with both of us, but now, I can see from here, they didn't communicate well. So it's like those things I didn't learn. So when that ended, that too created pain in my body. You have no idea. Yeah, I have a couple articles on that. That just showed me that I wasn't dealing with, that this was ending. I wanted it to be done. Second marriage. I'm like, well, how am I failing? Really is where is that? But my body was telling me, you're done. You can't hold this relationship all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
It is a two-way, street working back and forth. It was not happening that way.
Mm-hmm.
When that relationship, ended and we ended amicably, I was on a mission to find out who I was. Because I'd already done this twice, I really needed to understand, how did I grow up? What did I learn as far as relationships? So I hired a divorce coach the first time to do all those pieces. The second was hiring a dating coach, and she was amazing because you have to learn to date yourself first.
Okay.
Right.
Love yourself, take yourself out, do all those pieces so that you can share the best parts of you.
Right.
Be vulnerable and communicate. That was normally back then it was like a 8-week program. And I asked her, I said, this can't be 8 weeks. It has to be at least 6 months to 9 months for me, right? Without learning about myself. So it's like, we need to dive deep because I don't want to do that again. I do that again. And so it was a wonderful experience to do that. And it's funny to date online. Bill will laugh at me. He goes, but you dated online? I don't think you understand. The dating online was to learn about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Safe place to learn because you are, texting and swiping, whatever else, but it was a way to go, how do you communicate? I didn't know how to do that. Right. The first 2 marriages I met the old fashioned way through, groups, going out, and learning how to dance and all those other things. But this was different. So I was frightened when I did the first dating app, and gratefully my coach walked me through it. She goes, again, this is just about what you're attracting. What is your energy attracting based on what we wrote?
Right.
Engaging with it, and then telling people, good luck on your journey. I don't think we're a match, right? You don't have to say that. That was new for me.
And Carolyn, that's really important because what we have found in our journey is that couples wait too late to say that.
Yeah,
that's correct.
There's a fear factor or some kind of false hope factor that makes them want to hang in there when deep down in themselves they know this is not right.
That's right.
This doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then the challenge is, by the time they get to that point, they've already gotten physical because they were in the same proximity.
Right.
So, and now there's soul ties being built and everything, and emotions.
Right.
Well, I guess we just.
And then you just find yourself floating.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, something that's not right for you.
That's right.
And by the time you finally decide to get out, you have dug yourself so deep.
That's right.
That climbing out is really hard now.
It's hard because you've invested so much already of yourself, but there's a part of yourself you've abandoned because you didn't hear it the first time. Right. That is what I learned in the first 2. And then dating online, just to get an idea, because that was during COVID. So we weren't seeing people face to face. So it was just, it was a great way for me to learn, right? To say no, because again, we're taught not to say no or not to say this isn't working. But that's the honest thing, right? That's being vulnerable and in your own integrity for them and for yourself, right? Number 1 for you.
Now, have you worked with couples that are both stressed out and they come to you?
Absolutely. Yes. I'm laughing because I had one in particular and they both come to see me. And this was during COVID. So they were not used to being together 24/7 with their 3 children. Right? So that was huge. And I was seeing people in person, right? So when the one came in, it was great. And I said, what's wrong with the body? He goes, well, I'm sitting in my chair working all day.
Yeah.
I said, you need to get up out of your chair every hour, preferably every 30 minutes and work it out. But he didn't. So we worked those pieces out. And I said, so how's your wife doing? I don't know. I think she's okay. Well, then she came to see me not too long after that. And she goes, I just left. I'm like, what do you mean you just left? She goes, he's nitpicking. I'm with the kids. This is hard. It was hard. 3 kids all day long doing schooling at home because they didn't have, right? So all that, she goes, I wasn't getting any respect. So she packed the bags, put herself in their little SUV and took off. She goes, I was crying. And I'm like, okay, so what happened? She goes, I just stayed out for the day, but I needed to know that I could just step out of the way. And then they were able to go back. When she and I had that conversation, now you need to go back. They're a great couple, and they just needed to have a communication outside. That level of intensity together during COVID was too much. So her space away and then coming back and having a conversation, they were able to resolve quite a few things, but it had pent up. So yes, I see it in those ways too.
Yeah, I think COVID, that whole COVID situation brought out a lot of, or exposed a lot of challenges that we have with communication, with working out, conflict resolution, all that kind of stuff.
All of it. It was intense for lots.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break again, and you are watching I Am Love Builder Show. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we're back with the I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. We have our special MVP guest in studio. We're having a great time talking about helping people relieve their stress in their lives. Do you do any work with sound, like tuning forks and things like that in your practice?
All of that, yes. I have a whole host of tools in my box, yes. Tuning forks I really love. My hands, just quiet, grounding, meditating, right? All the pieces, whatever that person requires. There's no set recipe. It's just whatever their body needs. Like I said, on Friday, I had a client. She had pain in her low back. She had gone to the ER, and I'm like, what happened? I just saw you last week. She goes, I don't know. I just bent over. And I'm like, what are you stressed about? Right? And she goes, well, work, of course. And I'm like, okay, well, what else? So there's another book, I think it's called Body Language by Ina, I forgot the last name. Anyways, if you go into the different little spots of the body, so along her spine, she could point to exactly where her pain was. And I found it, and it was a deep muscle pain, and it was associated with her thoracic lumbar 1 and then thoracic 12. So there were emotions attached to that. So I just read the words from this book, and she goes, that's it. So we just sat with her feeling unworthy, not enough. We just sat with it, right? We just sat. I had my hand on it, my fingers on it. We just sat with it. I had her breathe. And as we breathed, I said, so just witness it. Don't judge it. Just allow it to move. And then we replaced it with love and compassion for herself. And at which point she goes, the pain it did disappear for her. So it's just, sometimes our pain is just a signal to slow down and pay attention to it. Give it a little breath, right? And then it actually dissolves. So she had plenty of time. By the time she got off the table, she was like, okay, I don't know what we just did, but that was great. And I'm like, you did well. I just feel way better. And I'm like, that was the whole point, right?
Right. Are you able to do things like that online, or does it have to always be in person?
Oh, no. I've done it online. When I've traveled, there's a trip I went on to Italy, and one of my clients, they typically don't reach out unless they really are, in pain. She goes, she had no idea I was in Italy. She goes, I'm having this kind of pain. Do you have a few minutes? And so I blocked off 20 minutes not too long after that text. And she goes, where are you? And I said, I'm in Italy. She goes, no. We can talk when you get back. I'm like, no, I've already blocked off the time. Let's sit down and do this piece. Tell me where it is, right? And I also do Reiki. So I'm Reiki certified. I'm a Reiki master. So we did all those little pieces.
What's Reiki?
Reiki is, how do I put this? do you know, like Mr. Miyagi would, you know,
Yeah.
there's energy between our hands. There's energy everywhere. It's life force energy that runs through us, right? It's just directed with my hand. It comes through me, not from me, but through me.
Right.
Spirit, God, energy right in through my hands. And so definitely do that. I was doing remote Reiki energy. I was doing all the little things that I would normally do in the office besides touching her, you know, wherever that pain was.
Right.
And just sat with her in the pain, wherever that, I can't remember what it was now, but wherever it was, and allowed her to just experience it, notice it. Where did that come from? Is it, you know, is it from just now? Or is this tapping into when you were younger? And so I just walked through it. As she released it, she felt way better. And then she booked with me when I got back, and she goes, actually, I don't really need to see you, but let's just have a conversation. And we did. And so it was just, it's a matter of me just witnessing. Most of the time, that's all our bodies need is taking a time to slow down and witness what's happening.
And you know, that brings a good point, because when we're talking to our couples, especially our singles, we really talk to them about getting to know who you are before you jump into a relationship.
Right.
We also talk to them about getting your healing from whatever past trauma, drama, hurt, pain, abandonment, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Work through that before you jump into a relationship.
Absolutely.
Because jumping into a relationship is not resolution for all of that.
Right.
No.
It just compounds it.
Exactly. Because you're bringing it all with you. And so I am in a relationship now, and I have been for the last 4 years. And both Bill and I have had, you know, 2 marriages. He's got 4 children. I have 3. And I think because where we are on this journey of life, we've come to it more open-hearted. We know where some of our triggers are. Well, actually, we know where our triggers are, and we can actually speak and be vulnerable with each other. It was a slow moving relationship. Our good friends of ours connected us. And then it was, Bill didn't want to date right away, which was totally fine, but he never called out. So I took a risk and sent him a text. And you want to have coffee? Of course, okay, yeah, we can have coffee. So it started with coffee in our local town. We spent an hour doing that. I think he waited another week and a half, and then he texted me and go, hey, would you like to go to dinner? And so we went to dinner. We had a 4-hour dinner because we were just having a really good time understanding who we were. Wife, 5 years prior, I had just, divorced a few years before that. So it was a matter of just understanding each other. And, it was interesting. He was told in grief group, we're not supposed to talk about our late spouses. And I looked at him, I said, that's crazy. How can you not talk about your spouse who's passed? They had 30 years of your life. So yes, you need to bring them in the conversation. It would be great to know what that is, because that would be a shame. Because you're right. Yeah.
Because it's a part of you, and you really can't separate it from you.
Yeah.
You can't.
Now, if it becomes an everyday conversation, that's a little much, right? But yeah,
it's worked out beautiful because it's just, we're both very mindful of the other relationships and all the little nuances that come with it, and we're respectful. That's why I was very respectful with their daughters, and when she got married this past month, creating a little space for all of that. And I think for me, I did a little hula. He had asked me to do a hula because I did the hula for my daughter, and I said, we're not going to do it in front of everybody. We're just going to do it with the 4 of us. Right. I said, but you're going to have to do the ukulele and sing, and I'll do the hula. And then I had created a lei in memory of her mother, so connected, and we put it on the fountain that she loved so much here at the house. So it was very much a level of connecting and just an honoring. And I think this is where it's taken us 4 years to bond with his kids as well as mine. And it's just, there was no rush, right? There was none. I'm not here to replace. I'm just an addition to your family. That's all this is.
And would you also say, Carolyn, that you guys were building a friendship?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he didn't kiss me for a very long time. It was always a side hug. That's the joke. It was a side hug out of the car, a side hug, when he walked me to the door. It was just like, okay, I was fine. There was no, like I said, there was no push. There was no expectation on my part. We were building a friendship, and we were building trust with each other.
Yeah.
Because here we are both later in life building a relationship.
Right.
All of the experience, right?
And I think that is so important, that especially couples who've already had a past.
Right.
past marriages, past relationships,
Right.
grown children. You're a little bit more seasoned in this part of your life, that you take your time and really get to know that person. And even, like I said before that, get to know you.
Yes. Agreed.
Yep,
Agreed.
yep. All right, we're going to take another quick break. This is our last break. It has gone by very fast. Take another break, and we're going to pull up your website so people can see some of the stuff you're doing on there. You are watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. We'll be right back. Just a moment. All right, you're watching I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl, and we are back with our special MVP guest in studio. And I want to pull up her website because there's a lot of great information on there, and she can kind of walk us through what we're seeing. All right, there it is.
Perfect.
Talk to us about it.
So up here, it's actually in process because a couple of things. I already have a third book, Radical Courage, talking about coming into being courageous, being seen and visible. So that's that piece. Here it's about, what if your pain is your body's way of guiding you back to trusting yourself, right? Because a lot of times what I learn from people, they get annoyed with their bodies because they're in pain and can't do the things they love to do. But it's level of annoyance and lack of patience to understand what it is that they continue to dig themselves deeper in pain.
I like that little wording you have there. You said, let's talk healing.
Yeah, let's talk.
We need to talk about healing.
Yes, we need to talk about healing. We need to listen, right?
Yes.
Totally listen inside the body.
Amen.
So I have a pain that I've had in my right hand, and I'm right-handed,
right?
And I'm always using a mouse all the time, all the stuff I do on the computer, and I've got a lock joint, like one of my fingers feels like a lock.
This one or your thumb?
It's my
The third finger.
Middle finger.
It's the
no,
it's not the middle. It's it's the
finger.
finger right next.
The ring finger.
The ring finger on my right hand side.
Well, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you hold it, grip it hard, or do you use a little for the mouse? You're mousing. Oh, okay.
So I've switched mouses and stuff. I used to have just a regular mouse. Now I have a ergonomic mouse, trying to see if it changes anything. It really didn't.
No.
Anything.
So part of that is repetitive motion for you. Have you actually switched to the left hand and learned to work with your left hand?
I may have to. My right hand stopped working, but no, I haven't. I haven't done that yet.
The invitation here is to go learn the left hand little by little. So for me, as far as massage, I could do everything with the right. But if I had done that, I would have blown up my arm and shoulder because I could do everything with my right. I've had to train myself, and I did that early on to do that. Even with my mousing when I worked at corporate, I actually had to switch to my left hand and learn it.
Oh, wow.
So this is part of this. So the middle finger, if I remember correctly, has to do with just self-nurturing and love to oneself. And it's not that you don't love what you do, but it's like the body wants a little bit of a break and move it to the other side. It wants a little more balance is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm. So as we go through your website, share with us all your different services that you provide.
So I have a few things. I do have the Body Mind Coaching specific program, 6 to 9 months working intensely with me week to week, whether we do it virtually and then you come into the office if you want, or if it's all virtual or just all in office. And then I have regular body therapy, muscle therapy. People come in. I have regulars that come in who just have tightness Most of them have figured out it is the stress. So it's just a matter of them just managing the stress, taking time to love themselves by working out, eating right, and drinking more water, right? All those kinds of things. So I have that. And then I also have my Body Mind Italy trip, which is coming up next month. So I lead a group of people to Italy, and we connect outside of your normal environment to the country, the energies of the country. So you have a chance to reconnect to yourself, right? And there's a lot of self-reflection. We go visit the beautiful sites. This is not a checklist of sites, but more just what can you feel here? My best place, I love going to Rome and Orvieto, where we learn about the different country, the city sites, and just connecting to what's there, right? It's a beautiful place to do that. The food, the culture, and the people. It's more about connecting.
All right. So what are your, I saw a question that said, what are rates? So what are your rates like? I mean, what is a normal session? Does it depend on the person, or is it something set?
So it's actually, currently it's about 80% in person. It's typically an hour, about 60 minutes. That's about that's a $200 time frame with me. But it goes beyond that because you get a little support after you leave. I'll send you, either exercises, questions for reflections, and also we'll put an arc in respect to if you've been working with me at least a couple of sessions. I've seen patterns, so I'll see a pattern that is emerging through your stress, what you're holding, and you can see the breakthroughs, what you're noticing in your body and paying attention to it. So that's what a typical 60-minute session. 90 minutes, a little bit longer, we slow it down even more, and you get just a tad more of that. So people can work, again, either face-to-face, or I do it on Zoom or on the phone.
All right.
So my main stress relievers for years have been exercise, working out, and then also the hot tub.
That's perfect.
I'm like a hot tub fanatic.
So I've become one of those two lately. Yes.
Yeah. So even when it's snowing outside or something, I said, I'm not going to be denied my hot tub. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Push the snow off and hop on in.
Perfect. Well, that what that does is you heat up, you sweat. That moves the toxins out of your body, right? You probably sleep better when you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have one. I need to find me a stress reliever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a complete hard workout. I'm not sure what kind of workout you do, Casper, but a simple walk, 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. I have been trying the last couple of weeks. I've stepped up my game and making sure I get a walk in every day, at least 5 times a week.
Do that and keep doing that. The next thing I would suggest or invite you to do is look at just light weights, right? To build a little bit more muscle mass, help you protect your bones. That would be the next piece.
Okay. I would get in the hot tub with my husband, but he gets in, it's late. And I have to go to work the next day.
It's midnight. It's midnight.
Yeah, he's midnight. I'm like, and I get up at 4 a.m. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to be in the hot tub with you.
No. So go earlier. You don't need, he's going by himself. You can go by yourself. You go early.
See, I can go by myself.
Yeah, you can do it. Got some other stuff to do on her plate. Absolutely.
That's a lot.
It's been awesome visiting with you. Folks can get to your website by going to
right there.
Pronounce that. What is it?
SomaWise MT.
SomaWiseMT.co, not .com, right?
.co.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I'm excited. I've got to come to California so I can get me an appointment.
I would love that. Well, I need to come see you guys, so that would be great. We need to connect. This will be good.
Yeah. Oh, we could do a combined marriage workshop and healing at the same,
Hey, that would work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're on. You say it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. We have run out of time.
I know.
But you're an awesome guest, so we're going to go ahead and close out. So, folks, what are they going to say?
Folks, this episode should help you focus on the fact that you need to become MVPs.
Yeah.
That's the most valuable partner in your relationship. So if you're working on yourself and your spouse is working on themselves, then when the two of you come together, you'll have something phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah, what she said. And if you're not having fun, you're
Not doing it right.
That I know for sure. We'll see you guys on the next show. Bye for now.